Hey students, welcome to Math Lesson 9.5. Today we will be focusing on common multiples and least common multiples. And finding the common multiples, and in fact the least common multiple, is the first step of adding and subtracting fractions. So we need to know this skill in order to add and subtract fractions. So our focus question today is, how do you find the least common multiple? Well, this is how we do it. We're first going to look at a story, a real life situation where we would need to find the least common multiples. It says Lauren is buying fish fillets and buns for the soccer team dinner. What is the smallest number of fish fillets and buns she can buy to have the same number of each? Well, as you can see here, a package of buns typically has 8 buns in it. So we have 8 buns right here. Right? And as we can see, the fish fillets have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have 6 fillets. And what we're trying to find here is, how can we find a number of both buns and fish fillets where we will have an even number? So I'll have just as many buns as I have fish fillets. Right now, if I just buy one package of buns and one package of fish fillets, I'll have 2 extra buns left over, and I don't want that. I want to make sure that all the buns have fish fillets in them. So what can I do to find that number? Well, this is what you do. You actually just, what I do here is when I find the least common multiple, I write the numbers I'm looking for. So I have 6 and 8. These are the 2 numbers I am trying to find a similarity with for a multiple. So I'm going to list all the multiples of 6 and all the multiples of 8. And a multiple is basically a number that I can multiply 6. When I multiply 6 by a number, what's the product? So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Basically what I'm doing here is just counting by 6s. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. I'm just going to stop right there. So my multiples, I could keep on going on forever with multiples of 6. But I'm just going to go this far for right now. So I have 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All these are multiples of 6. Now I'm going to do the same thing for 8. So I know I have 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Oh, and I'm going to stop right there. I could keep on going, right? I could, go to 32. But I know that I have a common multiple right here. 24 is both in 8 and 6's list of common multiples. Now I could keep going and I could find more. Right? 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. Alright, and then if I came down here, right, I have 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. So here's another common multiple. It is a multiple that is common. It's both in 6 and 8. Now the least common multiple is the least number that is common. So 48 is a common multiple, 24 is a common multiple, but 24 is the least common multiple, or we also say LCM, because it is it's the smallest number, the number of the least value in both the list of factors or list of multiples for 6 and for 8. So to answer the question, what is the least number, what is the smallest number of fish fillets and buns she can buy to have the same number of each? Well, she can buy 3 packages of buns, right, because 8 times 3 is 24, and she can buy 4 boxes of fish fillets. And the amount she will have for both is 24, the least common multiple. So when she has 24 fish fillets and 24 buns. That is the least you can buy without having any extra left over. Now down here are the steps that I just went through, and it talks about the common multiples and least common multiples as well. You can look at this to help you out when you're working on your independent practice on your own. Excuse me. But let's look at our independent practice together. I'm sorry, our guided practice together. So here's our guided practice. We have numbers 1 through 6 right here. And what we're going to do for each one is find the LCM, or also known as the least common multiple. Alright, so least common multiple. It is important to understand the term LCM. Typically when somebody's asking you to find the least common multiple, they'll say find the LCM. So make sure you understand that LCM stands for least common multiple. Now for numbers 1 and 2, we actually have a list of multiples already done for you. So all we have to do is look for the common ones. So the multiples that are in both lists. So I'm looking at problem number 1, and I have 2 and 4. So I'm looking for the least common multiple of 2 and 4. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. And for my list of 4 multiples, I have 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. So where do we have common multiples? Well, here I have 4. That is in both of them, right? So 4, I'll circle that. 8, oh, yeah, that's in both of them. There's 8, and there's 8. And if I wanted to keep going, I'd find more, right? But I'm looking for the LCM. The LCM. The least common multiple of 2 and 4 is 4. Also written as that 4. Alright, number 2. We have the numbers 3 and 4. What is the least common multiple? Least common multiple of 3 and 4. Well, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and we could go on and on. For 4, we have 4, 8, 12, 16. What numbers are in both the list of multiples for 3 and the list of multiples for 4? Well, 3 is not in 4, and 6 isn't in 4, and 9 isn't in 4. 12 is, there we go. There's 12. And there are no other common multiples that we have listed. Now, obviously, if we kept going, we'd find more multiples that would be common, but the least common multiple is 12. Number 3, we have numbers 3 and 7. Now, this doesn't have the list of multiples out for us, so we need to do it on our own. So I'm going to start with the list for 3. I know 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to stop right there and see if maybe I have some common multiples already. Let's go down to number 7. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Oh, no common multiples yet. Let's see. 7 times 3 is 21. Well, I'm already at 21 here. I'm not to 21 here yet, so I'm going to keep on going up here. So far I have 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 6 is 18. Let's check to see if 18 is down here. Nope. Alright. 3 times 7 is 21. Let's see if 21 is down here. And yes, it is. And there is our least common multiple for 7 and 3. It's 21. So as you notice, sometimes you're going to stop and maybe do the second list, realize you have to go a little bit further, and that's okay. You don't want to keep on making a list that goes on and on forever when you realize your third multiple would have been common. So take your time, maybe go back and forth. Another strategy I'll show you is one below, and I'll do that one next for numbers 8 and 15. So I'm going to list my multiples for 8 and then my multiple of 15. So 8 times 1 is 8, and 15 times 1 is 15. Here's another way you could do it. That's why I'm showing you this. 8 times 2 is 16. 15 times 2 is 30. 8 times 3 is 24. 15 times 3 is 45. 8 times 4 is 32. 15 times 4 is 60. 8 times, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 times 5 is 40. 15 times 5 is 75. 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 6 is 48. 15 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 90. Well, see, I'm going pretty large right here, so I'm going to kind of slow it down a little bit and stop with the 15s and start working up on top here. So 8 times, what is it, 6 times 8, 7 times 8 is 56. Alright, 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 73. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 11 is 88. 8 times 12 is 96. 8 times 13, is 104. Alright, at this point I'm just going to keep on just adding 8. So 104 plus 8 is 112, and 112 plus 8 is 120. That's a pretty good list I have going on right there. Holy moly. So I'm going to go back down to the 15s. Do I see 90 up here? It's the greatest number I have so far for 15. I don't see 90. There's 96. So let's hope I get there soon. 90 plus 15 is 105. And 105 plus 15 is 120. Oh, there it is. Look at that. The least common multiple for 8 and 15 is 120. Now, sometimes it's going to happen where you have a really long list, and that's just the way it is. If you want to be able to add and subtract fractions, this is one thing you're going to have to do. So take your time. Don't get frustrated. You can use your multiplication chart to help you out. Now I'm going to erase this bit right here so we have some more room for number 5. Alright, so 12 and 9. Try to make my list a little bit smaller here. So I'm not going to do it the way I did number 4. I don't like doing it that way. I like kind of going with one number and just going all the way across. So 12, I have 12. Alright, 24, 36. Now these are all multiples of 12. I can multiply 12 times 1 to get 12, times 2 to get 24, times 3 to get 36. Alright, 48. I'll go to 60. I'm going to go that far, and I'm going to go down to 9 and make my list of 9s. Again, you can use a multiplication table. Totally fine to help you out with this. Alright, so I have 9, 18, 27. Do I have a common one here? Nope. There's 9, 12, 18. Nope. Alright, now let's see. 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be 36. Oh, and there's my common multiple. My least common multiple. Of course, if I keep going, I'll find more common multiples, but I'm looking for the LCM, the least common multiple of 12 and 9 is 36. And here we go, 6 and 18. So I'm going to make my list of 6 first. 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18. Oh, this one's super easy. I already know what it is. There's 18, my list of 18 starts with 18, and there is my least common multiple. My least common multiple, or LCM, equals 18. Okay, so now you can actually take this skill that you just learned and apply it to your independent practice. It's going to look very similar to what we just did. Numbers 9 and 11, you'll notice the numbers don't go in order. took some of the problems out. But numbers 9 and 11, you're finding the least common multiple. For numbers 9 and 11, they already have a list done for you, so you just have to find for the least number that is common in both lists. That means it's in both lists. And then for the rest of the problems, you actually have to make the list yourself and then find the least common multiple. Again, you can use your multiplication table to help you out. You can always go back and rewind this video, and you can always come and see me for help. So good luck, and get to work.